Shalom, shalom, giving honor and praise to the creator and the maker of heaven and earth. What you're looking at right here is called the Danite stele, in reference about King David. Now the point of me showing this is to show that the Danites in history has been noted for making something in reference about the children of Israel. Now, in light of that, I like to go, if we will, brothers and sisters, into the book of Amos. We are in the book of Amos, chapter 8:14, and it says, "They that swear by the sin of Samaria, and say, as thy God, O Dan, lives, and as the way of Beersheba lives, even they shall fall and never rise up again." Now, the point of reading that is because that's the scripture that some brothers and sisters would use in an attempt to say that the tribe of Dan is destroyed. Yet, the tribe of Dan is not destroyed. And this is not a scripture that is speaking of the tribe of Dan being destroyed. So let that be noted and understood. If you will, brothers and sisters, let's go, keeping your hand on Amos 8:14. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 16. We are in 1 Kings 16, verse 29. And it reads as follows. "And in the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab the son of Omri to reign over Israel. And Ahab the son of Omri reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years. And Ahab the son of Omri did that which was evil in the sight of the Most High, above all that were before him." Meaning that Ahab was one of the worst kings that ever ruled, or the worst king that ever ruled on the throne of Israel. "And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshipped him. And he reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. And Ahab made the Asherah. And Ahab did yet more to provoke the Most High, the God of Israel, than all the kings that of Israel that were before him." So it says that he did that, and those acts about dealing in that idolatry stuff was done in the land of Samaria. So now, remembering what we're going to go back to now in Amos 8:14, where it says, "They that swear by the sin of Samaria." The sin of Samaria was that idol god that Ahab set up. It says, "Those that swear by that." Now, it also says, "And say, as thy God, O Dan, lives." Now, in light of that, let's go, if you will, brothers and sisters, to the book of 1 Kings. We're going to go to 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 25, so we can gain an understanding concerning this kind of matter. And it says this, 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 25 says, "Then Jeroboam built Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and dwelt therein. And he went out from thence and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now will the kingdom return to the house of David. If this people go up to offer sacrifice in the house of Yah at Jerusalem, then will the heart of this people turn back unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they will kill me and return to Rehoboam, king of Judah." Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 casts of gold. And he said unto them, "Ye have gone up long enough to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt." And he set one in Beit El, and the other put he in Dan. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. Now, one of the things that it says that Jeroboam, who was the king that was ruling over the 10 northern tribes of Israel, he took counsel from some wicked people, and they told him apparently to go and make these false gods, and that the people were to go to worship. And it said that that became a sin, and that the people went to worship it even unto Dan. Now, Dan, if we know the history, is talking about a land in that particular case. Let's go to Joshua chapter 19, if you will. Joshua chapter 19, verse 47, so we can gain an understanding concerning this kind of matter. And it says this. We are in Joshua chapter 19, verse 47. "And the border of the children of Dan was too straight for them, So the children of Dan went up and fought against Leshem and took it, and smote it with the edge of the sword, and possessed it, and dwelt therein, and called Leshem Dan, after Dan their father. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Dan, according to their families, their cities, and their villages. So it says that when they went over and took over the city and the land of Lashem, that they renamed it Dan, after Dan their father. So that's how you wind up having a land called Dan mentioned in the scriptures. So getting back here in Amos 8:14, with that new insight, they that swear by the sin of Samaria, and we already went over that, that's the idol god that Ahab built, right? And say, as thy God, O Dan, liveth. Meaning that they dealing not with the most high God, they're talking about the idol god that Jeroboam built up, and it said it became a sin because the people went to go and worship it. All right? Amos 8:14, concluding. And as the way of Beersheba liveth, even they shall fall and never rise up again. Beersheba was a land that was within the tribe of Simeon. And Simeon was within the tribe of Judah when you study the geographics of ancient Israel. So now, back into the book of Amos 8:14, concerning, and as the way of Beersheba lives. Let's understand what the way of Beersheba is. Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 1, so we can gain an understanding concerning this kind of matter. All right? And it came to pass, when Samuel was old, that he made his sons judges over Israel. Now the name of his firstborn son was Joel, and the name of his second Abijah. They were judges in Beersheba. And his sons walked not in his ways, but turned aside after wickedness, and perverted, and took bribes, and perverted justice. So it says right in here, when you go into the book of 1 Samuel chapter 8, that the sons of Samuel who were judges, they were wicked men and took bribes. And they lived in the land of Beersheba. So when you're going back here, back into the book of Amos 8:14, when it says, and they that swear by the land, and they that swear by the sin of Samaria, the idol that Ahab built, and say, as thy God, O Dan, liveth, meaning Dan, the land where Jeroboam made an idol, and as the way of Beersheba liveth, meaning about taking bribes and perverting judgment like Samuel's sons did, even they shall fall and never rise up again. So Amos 8:14, brothers and sisters, is not saying that the tribe of Dan will fall and never rise up again. It is saying that the people who do those kind of particular acts of the nation of Israel will fall and never rise up again. If you understand, brothers and sisters, when you go into the book of Samuel and you read about the saying from Dan to Beersheba, it is talking about from one focal point of the land of Israel even unto the other. So this wasn't going to be long, but I just wanted to sit there and drop this video right here to let it be noted and understood that the tribe of Dan, brothers and sisters, is not destroyed. All 12 tribes is in existence. No disrespect intended to any school of brothers or sisters among us as a people, as the house of Israel. But just want to sit there and let that be noted and understood. All right. And for those who might be wondering, this part right here says Beit Dawid, house of David. Melech Yisrael, king of Israel. The house of David, the king of Israel. So, and this is dated to the 9th century BCE. That means it is about 800 something BCE that this thing is dated to. So the concept that some have of saying, well, we don't find nothing or archaeology about ancient Israel, from ancient Israel. Here you go, right here. The brothers who are two-faced with the Moorish science, y'all need to stop trying to attack the house of Israel. Because Moor is not a land, language, or culture. Shalom.